Hey, what's up everyone? Romel here from Mini Arms Depot, and today's video I'm going to show you guys how we make our shoulder harness holsters for your 6-inch classified figures and Marvel Legends in 1/12 scale, similar to the ones that you guys see here on Duke right now, and wherever the photo will be for this video, kind of give you guys a good idea of how it's going to look. If you guys have been here with us for quite some time now, you know that our 1/12 scale accessories will pretty much fit and scale with G.I. Joe classified figures, Mezco, Marvel Legends, and even some of the 7-inch action figures as well, such as the ones from NECA. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, and let me show you guys the materials that you guys will need for this project. So for this project, you're going to need a piece of fabric, and similar to the previous video that we posted about a week ago, we are also using synthetic fabric, synthetic leather fabric, and these are the ones that you can buy from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or even Walmart. And right here, you're also going to need a piece of 3mm leather strap, and this is again synthetic leather strap. We buy these from Etsy in bulk, and you're going to need a 3mm ribbon, the one that you use for sewing, 4 miniature buckles, and then you're also going to need 4 sets of miniature rivets. Now the rivets come in 2 pieces per set. It usually comes with a rivet post and a rivet cap. So the buckles and the rivets are actually not absolutely necessary, but I like to put them on there for cosmetic purposes. So as you can see here, the buckles are used on the straps and on the sides of the holsters, and the rivets attaches the strap onto the back piece of the leather, and I'll show you guys how it's all done here in a minute. And it also gives a pretty cool looking cosmetic effect there. So I like to put them on there, but they're not absolutely necessary. If you don't have them, you can put something else on there, or just use something completely different of your choice, and that's completely up to you. If you don't have the materials readily available with you, you may want to consider buying our kit that is now available in our eBay, Etsy, and Mercari store. And this kit will pretty much come with everything that I've mentioned here so far. It'll come with the synthetic leather fabric, it'll come with the buckles, the rivets, the leather strap, which is, by the way, long enough and should have more than enough material to cover the pair of straps here that will go around your action figure's shoulders and to make the harness. And also it'll come with a ribbon. Now it will also come with 2 templates that we like to use to trace out your holster and the back piece of your harness holster, which is the one back here. So we include that as an extra. We're all about consistency here in the shop. Now again, these are not absolutely necessary, but it just makes your life a whole lot easier, primarily because you just go in there and then trace it out and cut them out. So there's no guessing game or anything like that. If you consider the kit from our store, you will also have the chance to purchase it with a pistol to go along with it if you choose. And I think they're a little bit more extra from our store, but it's not much. I think it's like $2 more for a pair of the 9mm here. And this kit right now goes for around $11 at our store. So the links will be included in the description down below if you're interested. And again, they're not absolutely necessary. It just makes your life a whole lot easier if you don't have the materials readily available with you. And you can just order one of our kits. We ship the very next day, and hopefully it'll get to you within the next few days to get your project going. But it really is just a time saver. So let's go ahead and go over the tools that you're going to need for this project. I like to have a pair of scissors with me, a marker, which is hopefully a different color than the material that you're going to use for your project to kind of see the outline of your holsters and for the back piece. I like to have a hole punch. I also like to use a bigger hole punch for specifically for leather, and I'll show you guys why this could come in handy for you, but it's not absolutely necessary. I also like to use fine tip tweezers because I have sausage stubby fingers, so it's always difficult for me to grab the small buckles and especially the rivets here. So fine tip tweezers usually works well for me. And for this project, we're going to need something sturdy to drive the rivet caps in when we get to that step. And I like to use something sturdy again as my pin to drive the rivets in there. That way I'm not just pounding away directly at the rivets. And I'll show you guys that here in a few minutes, and there are many other ways to do it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So our first step is to outline the two holster shapes and also the back. Now again, I'm working off of the kit that I have showed you guys here a few minutes ago, which is this guy right here, and it will come with a template, as mentioned earlier, to give you the ability to just trace and outline the shapes of your holsters and the back piece of the harness. So you're going to need two holsters, and you're going to need a back piece. All right, now let's go ahead and cut them out. Now, just a piece of advice here, when you're cutting them out after you trace it, if you are using our kit, you want to cut on the inside of the line, and that will give you the correct dimensions for the holsters and the back piece as well. Because if you cut from the outside, the holsters and the back piece might get a little too big for what you need. So after you cut them out, your holsters and the back piece of your harness should resemble something similar to the templates that comes with your kit, if you're going that route. And again, if you're not gonna go with the kit route, go ahead and just draw them out as best as you can and go from there. So the next step, and again, if you're using the kit, is what I like to do is I like to line up as best as possible the template back onto the back piece leather that you had just cut out earlier. And then I just like to use the tip of my tweezer to kind of poke a hole in there in the template's holes. And basically what that does is it's going to show you where you need to punch the holes to make the attachments for your straps. I'll show you guys that here in a minute. So enough in there to just poke a hole really quick, and I know it's going to be impossible to see it in my camera, but I can see it from here, and basically it's right there, and that's where I need to punch my holes. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, now you have the back harness piece cut out and punched out with the holes. We're going to punch two sets of holes actually, on the holsters. And let me just show you guys where I like to cut that out. Right there and right there. So for this part, I like to cut them out horizontally, just like so. And I'm going to take my larger hole punch here, leather punch, and I'm just going to create a horizontal set of holes to make it one big giant horizontal hole there. And then the same thing for the top side. So I'm taking my hole punch right on the middle of the holster. So if we were to fold it up just like so, it should create two holes right down on that middle spine there. And that's basically where the straps are going to loop through. And you guys can see that here. I apologize if you guys can't. But basically, the strap is just going to go right through that holster and then all the way up around to where the back piece of the harness is going to be, and then we're going to attach the rivets on there to secure it in place. So doing it this way makes a much stronger connection as opposed to just super gluing it on the strap itself. That way you don't have to worry about reattaching it over time. So let's go ahead and do the other one. And if you don't have a leather punch, you can go ahead and use your X-Acto or your hobby knife and make that shape. I just like using the leather punch because it's just a whole lot easier for me, and I don't trust my clumsiness with hobby knives as much. So now the next step is to take our 3mm leather strap, and then we just want to measure how big of a piece we're going to need based on the size of our action figure. So what I like to do is I like to take this back piece and kind of just put it on his back there. You guys can see that. And then basically it's going to end up like so. Just like that. So you're going to put it right on the back piece there, the edge. And then you just want to loop it around and kind of get a feel of how big of a piece do you need to have that strap go all the way around his shoulder, but not having it make it too loose or too tight. And by default, I like my straps to be tighter than usual. Just a little bit. Snug, I guess, is the correct word for it. So for mine, for my 6-inch classified Duke, I guess, you can say it's about 3 inches or so maybe. Just like so. And I just measured it. It's actually about 3 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and snip another piece that is similar in size, in length. And that will be my straps for his shoulders. So now the next step is we're going to take one of our leather strap and we're going to go ahead and loop it through the holes that we made on the holsters earlier, the horizontal holes. So you want to start from the front face of the holster, and you're going to go on the bottom hole first, through it, go through under, and then over up through the other hole, just like so. So it should look like that. Okay? And then eventually we're going to fold the holster in half, and we're going to apply a very small amount of super glue right on the edge on one of the sides, and then we're going to close it down and let it dry. And it should look like that. So this is what I was talking about earlier, is it's a much stronger connection as opposed to just gluing the strap onto the holster itself, and that will eventually come off over time. So I like doing it like this just for extra protection, because I get a little clumsy when putting accessories on my figures, and I just like having that a little bit of added security on there. Let's go ahead and do the same for the other one. So starting with the face of the holster and the bottom is facing you, we'll go ahead and loop it through the bottom hole, under and over to the second hole on top. There you are. And then you should be able to fold it in half and apply a small amount of super glue right on the edge and close it down. Okay. You're about halfway done at this point, and the next step is to obviously attach the straps onto our back piece, and I'll show you guys how to do that now. So in order for you to attach the holster straps onto the back piece, what you're going to need to do first is take the punch, and again, this is if you're working with our kit and you have the tool available. You're going to take the punch and punch a hole on the straps, one on top and one on the bottom, and we'll go ahead and do the same for the other side. And it doesn't have to be directly right on the edge. Give it maybe 2 to 3 millimeters from the edge and then punch your holes there. Because remember, when we cut these, we gave ourselves an extra 1 or 2 millimeters just to be on the safe side, right? So make sure you don't put the hole directly right on the edge there. So after punching the holes on the straps, we're going to take our 2 miniature buckles and we're going to loop them through now on the top side of the strap, not on the bottom. So find the top of your holster, and that's where you want to put the miniature buckle onto. So just make sure that the buckle is on the top portion of the strap and not on the bottom. And basically the idea is it's going to go something like this, right? So we want that on the top portion of the leather strap. Let's go ahead and do the same for the other side. Just like that. So your pair of holsters and straps should look somewhat like so. Now we get to attach it to the back piece of the harness. So let's go ahead and do that. So to do this, what you're going to want is to take your rivet post and do them one at a time. Makes your life a whole lot easier. You're going to take the top piece of the strap where we just put the buckle onto, and you're going to take it and fold it like so, bend it, so that way the tip of the top of the strap is pointing towards you. And then you're going to see the hole on here on the strap, and then you want to put the rivet post through that just like so. Okay, so again, the top piece of the strap for the holster, and you want to bend it and curl it around under, and the back side of the strap should now be facing you, and then you want to put that rivet post through the hole in there, and then it should protrude just like that. Okay, and then on the back side of your back piece for your harness, you're going to attach that rivet post through the hole on one of the first ones, starting with the top side of the back piece for the harness. And then we're going to take the cap, the rivet cap, just like so, and then we're going to close it up just like so. And then you just want to press it with your fingers just like that, just enough to kind of close it together a little bit, and it doesn't come apart. And then what I like to do is I like to take my metal rod and then take my hammer and then just give it a good pound, maybe 2 or 3 times, and then that should secure it in place. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, and if you guys can see that, it flattened it just a little bit to make that 2 pieces secure and tight and snug, and that's not going to go anywhere. And then from here, you do the same thing for the bottom side of the strap. So let's go ahead and do that now. So we'll take one of the rivet posts and the rivet cap, and starting from the top side of the bottom this time of the leather strap, we're going to curl it just like so. That way the underside of the strap is now showing and facing us. And then we're going to take the rivet post and push it right through there just like that. And because this is on the top side, the one that we secured earlier, now we're going to secure it on the bottom side of it. And that will make the harness strap for his right shoulder. And then we'll do the same for his left here in a minute. Okay, and it should, you see that? It should poke right through there, just like so. And then we're going to take the rivet cap, put it on there, press it with your fingers just to hold it in place. And then I like to use my metal rod pen and pound it in. There you have it. That's one side done. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the other side now. All right. After we do that, that's pretty much it. Let me just show you how it fits around Duke. And obviously, if your action figure is slightly larger, you would adjust accordingly when you are cutting the straps, the leather straps here. And again, if you purchase one of our kits, it should give you enough materials to either create 2 sets of these if you really wanted to. You just won't get extra buckles and extra rivets, but you can have more than enough materials to cover also a 7-inch figure if you really wanted to. So there you are. And then the last step that we're going to do obviously is I always like to put these buckles on the side of the holsters, and they're not necessary. I just think that they look cool and they're pretty much cosmetic. So, but I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So for that, you're going to take your 3mm ribbon that comes with your kit if you're going that route, and we're just going to cut 2 small pieces here, and then we will take our buckle, loop it through, just like so, and same thing for the other one. And what I like to do is place them on the outside face of where the holsters are going to be on the action figure. So they're going to go on Duke like this. Sorry, you guys can't see that. So they're going to go on Duke like this. So that means I need to put one here and on the other side as well. So let's go ahead and do that now. And they're very simple to do. I like to put them near the bottom, and I just apply a small piece of super glue there just to kind of fasten it into place, just like that. And then another small amount of glue on the other side, just like that. And then we're just get to trim the back side leftovers, like so. And then we'll go ahead and do the same for the other side. That's it. You guys are pretty much done from here. Last thing to do is to put it on. I always like to make them raise the roof, I guess you can say, to put it on. And bring his arms back down. And then you can adjust as you see fit. Maybe you want to put the holsters up. Maybe you like it all the way down where it's the guns are pointing that way. But I kind of like mine more classic, I guess you could say. And I like them kind of at an angle. And then of course the very last thing to do is, if you are purchasing our kit, once again, you have the option of purchasing 2 9mm pistols to go along with the kit. And they will go just like that. Yeah, that looks super cool. He is definitely ready for battle now, and you can pose him even as if like he's trying to pick up the weapon there at the same time. It's up to you, but it just gives it a really cool effect, really cool look. It's a soft good, so it looks more realistic. Gives you a different option compared to the traditional injection molded plastic rubbery type material that comes with their G.I. Joe classifieds traditionally. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave them down in the comments down below. And links are also available for the kits that I showed you guys earlier, which is going to be this guy right here. We also have the kit now available for the thigh holsters here, which is the one that you guys see here. So the links are down below for that. But aside from that, thank you again for watching. Thank you for your time. And as always, take care. And until next time.